Hey there, fellow ADHD entrepreneurs. I'm going to get right into it today. So, never mind my Ring camera or my ring light. I am filming at night, but I had to get this done. So, it's all the option I had instead of bringing my big lighting in here. So, I have to tell you something. You will notice that besides my bookshelf over here, my room is cleared out. So this is actually my master bedroom, and I am clearing it out. I felt like this last year, being the year of the snake, was when I shed a ton of shit. And I'm going to get very transparent. We're in the year of the horse now, and it's time to run. And so I'm in a mastermind this year. I'm very excited about it. It's already began to transform my life and my mindset. And with that said, one of the things that my mentor has done, because she went through a divorce and she renovated basically her whole house and got rid of all the old to bring in the new. And so that's what I want to talk about today, is transforming your space to transform your mind. That's what I'm doing. I'm in the process of doing right now. So all my stuff that I've ordered won't get in here until between the 15th and 21st, but I'm already clearing out because I want to make room for the new. So I realized something profound. I've been working, sleeping, and living in a space that held old energy and my previous story. And if you have ADHD like I do, you know that your environment is not just a background, it's actively shaping how our brains function every single day. And so today I want to talk about revamping your space, not just because it's about aesthetics, but it's actually a powerful tool for your mental health and executive function. So here's what most people don't understand about ADHD brains. We are environment dependent processors. Okay, so our surroundings directly impact our ability to focus, regulate emotions, and even access motivation. I will tell you a personal story. Not personal story, but just a personal tidbit. When my room is my office is also my bedroom, and I will tell you, I have a pretty big house. I have a 5-bedroom house. However, there's a situation right now that I can't utilize one of the other bedrooms. And the other problem is my desk is so big, it actually wraps around all the way. And I love it. I love my desk. But this is the only room that it really fits in, with the light coming in, because my window is actually right here in front of me. So the light coming in, it's really the only space for it. And because I do not want to operate in the basement. I don't like the vibe down there. And I have my workout equipment and stuff like that. So, but our surroundings impact our motivation, right? And I was talking to a friend of mine the other day, and I was just saying how, when there's clutter on my desk, for example, I see it in the peripheral vision, and it's almost like I feel just chaotic. I have to have everything clean, orderly, and that's a given. But also I was realizing my bookshelf is driving me crazy because there's just too many books on it. Actually, I know it's a bookshelf and there's supposed to be books on it, but it's like, it's just not working for the vibe anymore. It's not working for the shedding of the old. And so I'm getting rid of the bookshelves. I'm bringing in it's like a kind of a cabinet, and I've got another bookshelf coming that's actually a circular bookshelf that can fit tons of books on it. And it's just more resourceful. So when you walk into a cluttered space or a chaotic space, your ADHD brain tries to process everything at once, because, that's how our brains work. Visual clutter creates mental clutter. So old energy from past chapters of your life, your brain is still trying to process that too, even subconsciously. But here's the exciting part. When you intentionally revamp your space, you're actually giving your brain a reset solution. So you're creating what I call environmental scaffolding. And this is a physical support that kind of helps your brain with executive function, to work with you instead of against you. So I'm going to get personal for a second. When I looked at my bedroom as of recent, after almost 4 years of living here, I couldn't figure out like what was just not, going for me. And I just realized the energy, the clutter, and even colors weren't for me anymore. I'm actually going to be putting a mural on this wall. It's kind of like a marbled mural. It's like wallpaper, and then I'm getting a painting, and I'm also putting a couch over here because I want to have a dedicated reading area every single day that I can actually do my reading and manifesting and prayer and gratefulness and all the things. I want to have a ritual every morning of what I'm doing. And the books are going to be on a bookshelf. It's like a round turntable bookshelf right here because I want to set myself up for these rituals every single day. Again, this is also where my desk is. So this is my workspace. So this is where I coach people and where I do business. And it's also the room over here where I rest and recharge. So, how could I possibly move forward trying to work and heal in a space that was a museum of the past? Like I said, last year, I shed a lot of stuff. And I realized for my ADHD brain, this wasn't just sentimental. It was actually blocking my ability to function. So every time I sat at my desk, my brain was processing old narratives, old emotions, old patterns. And that was just a cognitive load I couldn't afford to spend because I have spent excuse my language, shit ton of money on this mastermind this year. And I have to make it worth the investment. I have to use it as an investment. And this is why I can't mess around with this. It's not just about money, but it's about, if this doesn't kick me out of my comfort zone, I'm being very transparent right now, then what will? You know what I'm saying? So, and you may not be going through the same kind of crisis transition that I'm going through. I'll be very transparent about something else. My corporate job that I've been with for almost 9 years, if I knew it was coming, I had an intuition earlier this last year, and I moved into something else, and I also got some unexpected long-term income. So I'll be okay. And also I'm building out this, but we are getting laid off here in a couple days, actually. And, they just announced that there's no severance pay, which is just disgusting to me and ridiculous. But, I realized, okay, I have to get very strategic and I have to get very surgical about everything in my life. This is a wonderful transition because everything's taken care of. I'm actually fine. I make even more. I'm blessed. I make even more than I was making previously, at the job. But it was there's benefits from the job and there's, stock options and things like that. So that stuff is not in the current position that I'm holding. So there are some changes, there are some losses, but I look at it like this is the transition that's pushing me out into my actual final purpose, or my purpose, not my final purpose. I think we have several purposes throughout life, but the thing I needed to do was release old energy. So this isn't like a woo-woo. This is neuroscience, and your brain is forming associations with spaces, basically. Okay. Sometimes you need to physically clear out old stuff to make room for the new. I have a law, and that my mother actually taught me, is that if you're going to bring something in, you have to get rid of something. And I try to follow that to a T because my mother's impeccable. She's literally Martha Stewart on steroids, and her house, she's always bringing in new things. She gets beautiful things at estate sales, but she always removes something from the house so she doesn't build up clutter. For me personally, it meant moving furniture, changing around, design. I'm actually getting different colors of things than I had previously because I was going with the grays. I had a lot of gray, like my bed comforters, gray stripes. And so I wanted fresh, crisp, I got white. I know some people don't like white, but I like white and kind of some like light tans. And then I have some orange and blue mixed in. So you need to design for your brain, not Pinterest, not, sorry, give me 1 second here. My thing is saying it's low on. So what colors make you feel energized or calm? Do you need everything visible, or does that overwhelm you? Create systems that match your brain and how it actually works. Okay. So I'm setting up my desk area. Like I said, it was already facing the natural light because I know it's better to have that, and also helps my ADHD brain, since the sun actually gives us dopamine. Okay. Separate spaces, separate mental states. Even in one room, you can create zones. So my sleep zone is going to be over here. My sleep zone is going to be completely different from my work zone because this is a pretty big bedroom. Okay. Different lighting, different colors, different energy. This helps my ADHD brain switch modes instead of everything being blended together in like an executive functioning soup, you know? So the fourth thing would be to make it sensory calm, like a sanctuary. So ADHD brains are very sensory seeking, but texture, sense, sounds make it feel more regulated. I'm adding softer textures because they ground me. I'm being intentional about what I see when I first wake up. That's why I had to deal with the bookshelf, because it just was absolutely causing me stress when I first woke up in the morning, and that would be the first thing I would see, and I couldn't do it anymore. And then I figured out the solution. Because that's going to set your tone for the entire day, right? So, but here's what I really want you to hear. Revamping your space is also about reclaiming your narrative. Okay. So when you're ADHD, people have told you probably your whole life that you're too messy, you're too chaotic, you're too much. Maybe you've internalized your spaces, that you'll never be organized or peaceful. But maybe you've accepted, living in environments that you don't serve you because you think that's just how you are. But that's garbage. That's just trash, You deserve a space that supports your beautiful, creative, and nonlinear brain. You deserve to wake up in an environment that says, this is my chapter, this is my story now. So whether you're healing from a relationship, recovering from a burnout, or just finally ready to stop living in a space that doesn't fit who you are or who you've become, this really matters. Your environment is not superficial. It's the container for your entire life. So, so I'm going to challenge you to revamp your space. And you don't have to do everything, you don't have to completely do what I'm doing. But, does your space reflect who you are today, right now? Does it support your ADHD brain, or does it fight against it? Does it bring chaos as soon as you open your eyes, basically, in my case? You don't need a big budget to do a complete overhaul, you start with one corner, one wall, one shelf. Just give yourself permission to create a space that feels like you're coming home to yourself, if that makes sense. And hey, I'll be doing this right alongside you. Here's, this is a fresh start for me. And I want to I'll do a post here in a couple weeks of the before and after on my YouTube, so you guys can see. And what I wanted to also mention is my ADHD hypnosis bundle includes 3 powerful downloads designed specifically for your neurodivergent brain. Focus is to help you stay present in the process. Anxiety is to calm the overwhelm when change feels very scary. And then the overcoming ADHD is to reprogram those old limiting beliefs about what you're capable of creating. So I've dropped the link below, because you're transforming your space. It's even more powerful when you transform your mindset too. So I'll see you in the next video, and you guys have an amazing day. Bye-bye.